YouTube viewers, this is Sin7 Mike to bring you a new podcast from my favorite called All They Both the Same Thing. Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Screen Productions, and like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand it. Now, let's get into the podcast. Are Bewitched and Irene and Jeannie both the same thing? Now, let's start off with Bewitched. Now, the creator of Bewitched is So Cisco. Now, the storyline for Bewitched goes like this. Bewitched, before I get into the storyline, Bewitched used to come on Channel 7 ABC, or before the code there was just ABC. This is way before, it used to come on Channel 7. Bewitched aired on September 17, 1964, and ended in March 25, 1972. Now, the story of Bewitched goes like this. It goes like this. It's about this witch named Samantha. Now, Samantha is a witch, but it's a very powerful witch with very powerful powers. But Samantha just doesn't really care. Doesn't really care about her powers at all. She's just one of them. So basically, she's very fascinated with living a mortal life. That's what in this series. If you're a witch or a wizard, you call non-people with no powers mortals. Anyway, Samantha met her future husband to be one day. They got married and moved to the suburbs. Now, at first, while they was dating, Samantha didn't tell her husband, her future husband to be, that she was a witch after they got married. And once Samantha did tell her husband, he was kind of shocked, but he didn't care. He didn't care. He loved them. She loved Samantha. He loved Samantha so much. He didn't care if she was rich or not. So anyway, they got married and moved to the suburbs. So Samantha decided to be a normal suburban wife. But there are a lot of Samantha's friends and family disagree with her choice, especially her mother. So each episode of Bewitched, usually it's always some type of plot by Samantha's mother or somebody else to trying to wake them up, try to turn it up with her husband, or sometimes helping other witches and stuff to solve problems, but basically that's the whole storyline in a nutshell. But anyway, Bewitched was one of the first supernatural comedy sitcoms of TV. Now, Bewitched lasted for eight seasons and had over 254 episodes. Now, originally, when Bewitched aired, it was filmed in black and white for 1964 into 1966, and then it started filming in color in 1966 into 1972. Now, Bewitched was the Bewitched was turned into a movie in July 24th, 2005. Basically, it was not like in the. Basically, the movie, the story was not as the same as the original series, but basically, it's like the movie goes like this, like some producers wanted to turn Bewitched into a wanted to renew Bewitched as a new sitcom, but blah blah blah, so shit like that. Anyway, it wasn't for a show like Bewitched. We would not have Serena the Teenage Witch. Anyway, that's enough about Bewitched. Now let's get into Jeannie. Now the creator of Jeannie is named Sydney Sheldon. Now, Bewitched was a Channel 4 supernatural sitcom. Basically, back in those days, whatever Channel 7 or Channel 4 had a hit show, they always try to outdo each other. Anyway, I See Jeannie in September 18, 1965, and lasted to May 26, 1970. Now, the story of Jeannie goes like this. An astronaut named Tony Banks, that was his name, Tony Banks was basically this came back from outer space, but his escape pod, but his escape pod landed in the ocean, and he ended up on an island in the coast of the Pacific Ocean. So anyway, while waiting for rescue, he discovered this bottle. When he got rescued, he took the bottle with him as a souvenir. Now, once he won the bottle, he released this female genie named Jeannie. Now, in typical fashion, Jeannie gave Tony his free wishes, but instead of her, or as everybody knows, after free wishes, the genie has to wait till the next person to want that free wishes. But in this case, after Jeannie gave Tony his free wishes, Jeannie said it's like once a person for free wishes, you become my master. So basically, whatever. So you're my master. Whatever you wish, you want me to do, I will do whatever you command. Long as in the rules. Laws and the bounds of the rules of the genie order. So basically, Tony is stuck with this hot female genie who who has a lot of enemies and a lot of friends that often use their magic for mischief, that usually make make Tony's life a little difficult. So basically, that's how it went. Now, but that's the main storyline for Jeannie. Now, Bewitched, Jeannie lasted for 5 seasons and had over 139 episodes. Now, just like Bewitched, the series was still in black and white till 1965, and it started filming in black and white until 1965, all the way to 1966. It started filming in color in 1966 until 1970. So anyway, now let's get into this part. What they both have in common. Both of these series were both supernatural comedies. Both shows had opening animated themes had opening animated themes. Both shows had lead female characters with supernatural powers. Now, both shows were originally filmed in black and white. Both shows had male lead characters that basically deal with the female lead characters with their magic and all the problems that go with it. Now, let's get into what they don't have in common. Both shows were filmed on different networks. Bewitched be filmed on Channel 7 and Jeannie filmed on Channel 4. I got one more detail that they both had in common. Both shows did air on the same month, but both shows didn't air on the same month of the same year. Now both shows didn't have the same amount of season or episode. Bewitched had 8 seasons and over 254 episodes. Jeannie only had 8 seasons and it only had 139 episodes. Now, both shows started filming in black and white at the same year. The Bewitched was filmed black and white during 1946 until 1966. Jeannie was filmed in black and white until 1965 until 1966. Also, both shows were both filmed in color at the same year, but they stopped filming in black and but they ended filming in color in different years. Bewitched ended filming in color in 1972, and Jeannie stopped filming in color in 1970. So basically, these are the things they didn't have in common and did have in common. Now, are they both the same thing? Yes, they are. You got two female with supernatural powers who often have friends with supernatural powers that usually try to use their powers to good, or sometimes they do, or sometimes use their powers to bad things. So basically, it wasn't for Bewitched and Jeannie. We would not have Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Now, the creator of Sabrina the Teenage Witch was inspired by these two supernatural sitcoms, Bewitched and Jeannie. So basically, it wasn't for these two sitcoms. We will not have Sabrina the Teenage Witch or Alicia Joe Hart or AKA Sabrina would not be a star until this day. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you to the creator of Bewitched and Jeannie. And it wasn't for you when I had Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So basically, my final diagnosis of these two series, they're basically both the same thing. So like always, this is Sincere Michael, sign off. Join me next come back next month when I be comparing Captain Planet and the Planeteers to Rescue Heroes. This is Sincere Michael, sign off. 1.